Okay, let's jump in. We are diving into the astonishing year 2902 AD.
Right.
This is the core setting for the Hollow Skies TTRPG. And our mission today is to really get a handle on why this universe is just, stuck.
Defined by regret and stagnation.
Exactly. And how one character stat, smarts, just perfectly captures that whole contradiction.
And it all starts with this foundation of isolation and a lot of broken promises.
Yeah.
Humanity started out really strong.
Spreading to Mars, the terraforming was a success.
A huge success. But then they discover alien wormhole technology on Titan, Saturn's moon, late in the 21st century. And that just, sped everything up.
Which led to the Gate Rush. This is where thousands of people, these escapists, just use two of the gates to flee the old system.
They slam the door behind them. They destroy the gates, cutting themselves off in the Hyperion system. They wanted total independence.
But there was one gate left.
Right. The one remaining gate opened up the Rigel sector. Super lucrative. And that kicks off this huge colonization boom in what they call the Asgard system.
But that golden age didn't last.
Not at all. It was shattered by an environmental cataclysm in the early 24th century. And that was pretty much the end of the Earth Alliance's power.
So new powers rise up.
Exactly. You get the Martian Consortia and the really aggressive Rigel Colonial Assembly, the RCA. Together, they form the three realms of humanity.
And that really defines the map now. It's built on, 2 centuries of just resentment? You fast forward to the late 27th century, and the RCA decides to go after the escapists.
They do. They violently annex 2 of the 3 escapist civilizations out in Hyperion.
That's just brutal.
And that creates this gray zone. It's a really dangerous buffer between RCA space and the last free place, Horizon's Light.
So for the last 200 years, it hasn't been a hot war. It's been a cold war.
Totally. All espionage and paranoia. The source material is very clear on this. You get minor tech improvements, sure.
Little tweaks.
Yeah, little tweaks. But no real new innovation, not for 2 centuries. It's just stalled.
And that stagnation is so central. Because if the future isn't about innovation, it has to be about reliability. Which brings us to the character mechanics. I mean, if you're living in this paranoid, low-tech growth world, how do you make sure your actions actually count?
The answer is in the game's 4S stats. Stamina, speed, smarts, and swagger. And the dice system is key here. It uses a pretty standard D6 and D10 system, but
it has that unique D3 roll.
It does. You roll a normal 6-sided die, but the result gets compressed. So a 1 or a 2 on the die is just a 1.
Okay.
A 3 or a 4 counts as a 2, and a 5 or 6 counts as a 3.
Ah, so it compresses the variance. It's trying to get rid of wild luck swings.
Exactly. This is a system that's built for skullduggery and consistent skill, not a lucky shot. It's too risky otherwise.
And that brings us to the smart stat, SMA.
Right. And nothing captures the weird demands of this world better than smarts. It covers a huge range of things.
Like what? Yeah. The obvious stuff.
Yeah, the stuff you'd expect. Computer use, mechanics, robotics, history, medicine, and perception. So spotting and dealing with traps.
Okay, so science, hacking, fixing things. Makes sense. You can put perk points into 10 different sub-areas, right? Like medicine, lockpicking.
All the standards are there, but this is where it gets really, really interesting. It's the collision of high-tech needs and very mundane skills.
What?
Smarts explicitly include skill checks for brewing and cooking.
Wait, what? So to be smart in this universe, you need to know how to make a good beer and cook a meal.
That's right. You have to know how to survive long-term in a civilization that's stopped moving forward. But then it takes a very sharp, very deadly turn. Because smarts also governs strike space torpedoes.
You're kidding.
Nope. You put a perk point in, you get a bonus to hit and do more damage with torpedoes and mines. So the single most important knowledge stat covers culinary arts and strategic space bombardment.
So to recap, you're in a world shaped by violent conquest, 200 years of a Cold War, living in the shadow of these 3 realms.
And your knowledge, your perception, your skills, both for hacking a terminal and making a stew are the only things you can rely on.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you.
Yeah.
If humanity has been out in the stars for 700 years, and the most critical knowledge stat says you need to master brewing, cooking, and launching torpedoes, what does that tell you about what a civilization really holds on to when the future just stops?